Guys, deluded, I'm back again now. We know Arsenal, well, obviously I'm an Arsenal fan, so I'm going to speak about Arsenal, but not just Arsenal. Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Barcelona, all of these clubs, they're well followed around the world. As football, to say it's a well followed game is an understatement. It's growing and growing, literally it's growing and growing. With that being said, we know these clubs are using fans' love for and affection for the game to milk us for various different services, merchandise, whatever you name it, there's a way to make money off it. From mugs to tickets to whatever, there's money. There's something to be made from a club if they slap a badge on it, in it. So with that being said, pre-season we know it's a typical one to go out to the fans, whether it's in Australia. Shout out to my people in Australia that always comment in India. A country. Has anyone gone there yet? I swear Bayern Munich have. Or the under-17s World Cup was there. Madly followed 40,000 and them things there. Going India and watching under-17. So imagine what they do for first team. There's like 1 billion people in India, literally, and it's growing. So so that's naturally a place where people need to go to market themselves. So there'll be that. But with that being said, we know it. Like for example, you guys know I like talking about this stuff. I started waffling, but back on track. Yeah, whether it be India, for example, Australia that we've been to, China that we've been to, America that clubs go to, Africa, which Everton went to, we know clubs go over to fans that don't necessarily or can't necessarily see us week in, week out unless they're travelling to England or wherever we're playing. If we're in Champions League, hopefully next season, lol, or Europa League, the possibility. But yeah, with that being said, I'm pleased to say that we're going to Africa now. It won't be this year, 2018, it'll be 2019. To say Arsenal hasn't been Africa in a while is an understatement. Last went there in 1993, to put into context. Players like Limpar, players like Merson were still playing it for Arsenal. So yeah, man, and I believe it was South Africa. Don't quote me on that, because clearly it's 2 years before I was born. So what do you want me to say about that? So yeah, players them times they got to meet Nelson Mandela, and on top of being a professional footballer and getting to see different countries and them things like that, I mean, you know who Nelson Mandela is, and if you don't, there's a serious problem. God bless his soul, because he was more than, to say he was more than a man. I don't know why I keep saying this statement, but to say he was more than a man is an understatement. And there's some things more important than football. What he's actually did for the game and what he believed the game could do as well. So it would have been lovely to meet him. But back on track. Africa, well followed throughout different regions, whether it's east, north, west of Africa, wherever, you name it, there's a fan of every Premier League club, and even the Italian clubs, there's someone in South Africa that supports everyone. For example, we get mad love in Nigeria, for example. We've got Iwobi as well. So that even being said, we've got African players. We've got Iwobi, scored the goal to bring them to take Nigeria to the World Cup. Obviously, they're not going to be there, but Aubameyang of Gabon, he's played, I swear he got African Player of the Year. So these are players, regardless of what African country you're going to be, players that African people, on top of everyone from out the world, adores. So it makes sense to go there. And Arsenal's had some successful African players. I know we don't hold them in high regard now, but Adebayor, a better name, Kanu, Lauren, our boy Kolo Toure, and so on, so on. Wenger has a strong connection to Africa, both in his belief of the players and his belief of the thingy, and you saw what he was doing with George Weah. So it would make sense. And on top of Aubameyang and Iwobi, we should be trying to market them in Africa better as well, because from a business proposition, fair enough, they weren't born in Africa, but they're African superstars. There's a little kid in Ghana, a little kid in Nigeria, a little kid in Egypt or wherever that has ambitions to be that superstar of Africa, like in the same way Jogba was. So that's marketable. You do that, there's opportunities to sell stuff and stuff. Like I said in the previous video, we need to market ourselves better. Africa, for it's a lovely continent for all its natural resources and stuff, but there's a hell of people there, and it's almost, like I say with India, commercially it's somewhat a blind spot. And that's an understatement, because we've had a World Cup in Africa, which some older heads before me didn't think that could happen. We've seen that. Obviously, Arsenal might not have done it. Well, we've done it ages ago, but teams like Everton, etc., have been in Africa for pre-season tours and everything there. Man United a few years ago went there as well, so it'd make more sense. It came about as well. We're not just going there for commercial opportunities. We're trying to develop the game there. We'll never take full credit for that. What I mean by that is a selection of Ugandan. We're going to Uganda. See, I started talking for so much. I've got to say, we're going to Uganda. Selection of Ugandan coaches. I think we've been over there already, and we'll continue to go over there. They're going to come over here and learn the game. obviously they get the perks and quite rightly see a game, Emirates, all of that. But what can actually benefit them? Learn some coaching tips that they might not have access to out there necessarily, and take it back. And if they can take it back, they're coaching kids, that raises their game, because one kid might get better at football and come off to Europe and he's become a footballer now and can put on his family, or that just grows the game in the community, just at base level, makes people better footballers, better human beings, and things like that. Obviously, from a coaching proposition, that little kid might get inspired from the guy who's been taught by Arsenal and have ambitions to coach. You've now got in the future 2 coaches, and obviously in the dream world you'd have 5, 10. You do that, the game grows. Demand for Ugandan players can grow, and it could all start from there. And ultimately, football, we all know what football can do for you each in your own personal life. I know for me, all my joy goes, all my joy is released when I'm playing football. My stresses are released when I'm playing football. Nothing matters for the 90 minutes or however long you're going to play the 5-a-side. It's nice to see the club will no doubt as well be improving the coaching aspects in Uganda, trying to set up schools as well, resources, all them sort of things, building pitches as well, man. Like, it's nice to see, and we're obviously investing in training facilities in the East African nation as well. It's nice to see, man. It's nice to see, and it's exciting. It must be exciting times for the Ugandan people, and it would be lovely to see us do this more. To go, like I said, Nigeria, we're missing a blind spot there. We have, and obviously I'm gassing up a bit, but a Nigerian superstar in Iwobi, he scored the winning goal. Nigeria, how much people are in Nigeria? There's a blind spot there to be going to Arsenal marketing themselves there, to be honest with you. And to be honest, from a player's proposition, it must be fantastic, man. I look at the likes of Iwobi, Maitland-Niles, Nelson, all of these players that go on pre-season, they're from, and Bielik, all these players from different corners of the world or different walks of life. It's mad how they're getting to see other walks of life. And for the London boys, like, what other life, well, what else would you be doing if you weren't a footballer? It's lovely. I mean, last year Maitland-Niles got to see China. I don't know where we're going this year, 2018, ironically, but wherever we're going. We went to Australia last year as well. If Maitland-Niles and Iwobi and all of these players are still there at the club in 2019, and we do go ahead with the Ugandan tour and nothing gets messed up, they'll see Uganda. Who knows? We might finally get an Indian tour, like I said, for my Indian massive out there. We might get that. They might go Pakistan. They might go Somalia. I'd love to see them come Jamaica or Barbados. Love to see you come Jamaica, man. But yeah, man, you get what I mean. Shout out to the Arsenal for doing this. Shout out to the Ugandan people. You can be excited over that. And those of you that are not living in Uganda but neighbouring countries, you might want to look at some hotels or what you can do if they've started advertising them from now. Because, yeah, I know a lot of foreign fans, unfortunately, get a lot of stick, and people say you're not as big of a fan, like it's not a lot of commitment for Australian and wherever. I keep saying Australian, not to say you're better than anyone else, but shout out to my guys. You've got to wake up at ridiculous times. You've obviously got a life, so you've got to do some madness to balance work and that. Some of you are watching games, told me watching games at 4 a.m. I don't know what region that is, but 4 a.m. So if it's 4 a.m. black and white, like you're looking at a game done around 6 a.m. and that. Now you've probably got an hour sleep, but at most, and then you got to start work, college, get your kids ready, get your picnic them ready, do whatever you got to do. So it doesn't make you less of a fan, but for them, nothing beats seeing the players in the flesh. Like, I hate to idolise people in life, and but football, we do idolise them. We're in awe. Like, when I go Emirates, I'm seeing Ozil. It's a madness. Like, when I went North London Derby, even though we're playing crap, I'm just looking at Ozil. I'm like, what a wonderful man. What a wonderful footballer. I'm looking at Jabusha, like, you're so lovely. Never leave the club. Signed a new contract. Like, I'm looking at other players and I'm thinking you're kind of dead. But these sort of players, but you get where I'm going. So for these sort of fans that think exactly like me, but unfortunately don't live in London, so they can't like pick up their money like me and just hop on the underground and go watch it. It's their chime. It's their chance. There's nothing more to be said on that front, man. Guys, Deluded Guna, you choosing N'Golo Kante. Let me get out of your hair. I'm out.